different nachos.
Hello, fancy people. You're watching and or listening the Nerd Edification Hour. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jeremy.
And in today's show, we got some entertainment news, but that's not what's important here. No, we're going to be talking about Pokemon, in case you're not tired of it yet.
And battery chargers. You need a battery charger.
Yeah. And phones that don't crash every 2 seconds. And we're going to have, of course, your nerd vocab.
Yep.
And then we're going to have your video game news, and then we'll have just a little bit of technology news at the end. Some pretty cool stuff.
Yep. So you want to start us off on this lovely topic of...
Okay.
Such a favorite of mine.
So, yes, Jeremy loves this topic. It's one of his favorites. The Ghostbusters currently has a 75% on Rotten Tomatoes. How does that make you feel?
I've heard a pretty mixed reaction. I've had a few people that have watched it. They've gotten to see early showings of it and came back, and they're like, it was okay, but there was a lot of... They kind of relied on the same jokes a lot of the actresses are known for. McCarthy was doing like a lot of the fat jokes and stuff like that, and then they were doing like race jokes. Kind of going back and forth, and it seemed like they were just trying to bring in that form of it to Ghostbusters to try and take over and do that. So it's been kind of mixed. It's not like this huge success, but they're still falling back on if you don't like it, there's something wrong with you, and they keep pushing that. I mean, the actual people keep pushing that. Claiming that you're sexist if you don't like it, or you just, guys and their parents.
Back to that thing again.
Yeah.
I thought we crossed that bridge already.
No, that bridge never ends.
What was the joke last week? Ghostbusters? Just go back to Ghostbusters?
Yeah, just everything goes back to Ghostbusters. Everything. And I even did it when we were on the Messenger. I'm like, Ghostbusters! But, I don't know. I mean, it had a chance. I mean, they should have taken the movie. I still think they should have had it a subtitle, not try and take over the same name. And if they'd had some kind of connection to it, just some way to pass it on instead of kind of contractually obligating Bill Murray and them to have a role in it as a side piece. They couldn't even be their own characters. They're just cameos and that's it. I don't know. I mean, when they originally made Ghostbusters, it was kind of a labor of love for all of them. Dan Aykroyd wrote the script, was working on it. They had certain people that they wanted to be in it, like John Belushi. He passed away, so they made Slimer as a thing for John Belushi, which, of course, now they're taking Slimer and doing all this ridiculous stuff. So I can imagine they're watching this going like, oh, well, that was made as an homage to my friend who died, and now you're doing this stuff to it. Like, I don't know.
So, in case you were wondering about the Ghostbusters, I guess it's an okay movie. So
yeah, it's supposed to come out soon. We'll see how it does. I know.
Yeah. Probably won't perform too well at the box office, but...
It's not a good sign, like I said, whenever anyone has any kind of legitimate criticism about it, and they immediately jump to, oh, you must be this or that, and they're just like, really?
Like, what if I just don't like it?
Because even the actresses, some of them have come out and said they weren't happy with it. McCarthy came out and said she wasn't happy with it, and I was like, okay.
Well, then.
All right.
But moving on more, I guess, positive news?
This is an interesting one.
Positive?
Yeah, it can go interesting. Marvel and Fox team up for X-Men TV series from the Burn Notice creator.
Wow.
Burn Notice creator Matt Nix is on board to write the script, but the network has made a put-pilot commitment for the new Marvel series, which indicates Fox is heavily invested in the project and means the show has a high chance of at least airing as a special if it does not go to series. That could be a bad thing. Does anyone remember Generation X? They did a little mini series thing of it.
It was terrible.
It was like 90s CG. Lots of 90s CG. The skin was a horrible looking character the way they did him. That was their, I guess, attempt at trying to do that. Because Generation X was supposed to be a newer X-Men group that was run by the White Queen and all those. Yeah, if you ever get a chance to look that up online, it's terrifyingly bad. It's almost as bad, not as bad, but almost as bad as the Justice League TV show they tried to do for, like, they did a short little movie for. That's on YouTube, by the way. Watch it.
What is it called?
Generation X. Yeah, just you're gonna, as soon as you see it, like, oh, that's so 90s, and it looked like bad Power Rangers. Let's say that about it. So this could do a lot better because if you look at a lot of the TV shows now, like The Flash, Constantine, Arrow, Supergirl, they can do all these much higher budget effects without having to break the budget on everything. So it could be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 90s, those 90s costumes. The only 90s costume that ever looked okay, I think, was the Flash TV show. And that just cost too much to do. Good little John Wesley ships. All right, what's next?
So this one is not so much news, but it's what the actors and the director have kind of said. Said the Suicide Squad director David Ayer said you get to see Batman from the criminal's perspective in the DC movie, which
kind of makes sense. It's all villains. I mean,
but like I guess we see Batman as a hero,
not in the Murderverse.
Yeah, not in the
He's like a straight up cold blood killer.
Not in the more recent film, but
DCY.
But we get to see it from the villain's perspective, like, oh, Batman's here to stop us, even though we're trying to do our job or whatever. That's
I mean, everything they've shown of Batman in relation to it is kind of almost looks like flashbacks or some kind of connection before they get put in the prison. Because the only thing we've actually seen of it is a scene of the Joker in his car, that hot pink, crazy metallic car, and with Harley Quinn in there, and you see Batman landed on top of the car, and that's about all we've seen of it. So he's gonna be more of, I guess, like a little appearance in there and kind of like how they react to him, but I don't see him being a major part of it. Because if he was in there, the way the DC thing goes, he would just shoot them all.
Yeah, right now,
he wouldn't bring him to justice. He wouldn't go. He would just he just armed up with all of his murder squad, whatever.
Or in like Arkham Knight, just launch rockets from the Batmobile.
Yeah, that was weird. All right, so moving on, we've got a possible Pokemon live action movie.
I don't know about this one.
I don't know. We were already chasing Pokemon around with our phones. Talks heard from Legendary, i.e. people who made the Warcraft movie, which is not a good starting point.
Well,
how was your movie? Look, Pokemon.
It did well in China. It seriously actually like made more than $1 million.
Well, half of them probably thought they could go watch the movie in Gold Farm. So they're all inside just going, can we log in?
Can we log in?
No. We had to pay for this. Like,
so
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know how I would feel about that. I think it would be cool, but I can't see it any other way.
Well, how would you want it? Would you want to try and do see if they could do CG Pokemon? Or do we want to get
we've seen some?
Do we want to get
CG
Muppet Pokemon? I could just see a little furry Kermit looking thing. Just hello, Pika,
Pikachu.
Oh, you have to get Jim Henson on that one. I mean, they do pretty good creatures. They could do a mix of it, kind of see how they go from that. But what do you do? Do they just stick with them just saying their names over and over again like the cartoons? Do we do the sounds? Even the phone game has not gotten that right. That's mixed it up.
Yeah,
Pikachu talks. The other ones don't. Yeah,
Pikachu, they've actually changed it in the main games as well, that Pikachu goes, Pika! He doesn't do the whatever he used to do.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about from the originals this is supposed to be based on. They had sound effects and clips from all the other Pokemon, but they stuck with their original Game Boy sound effects, except for Pika.
Yeah.
You tap on him and he's just like, Pika!
Pika!
Probably just, they pay that person so much money, they're just like, put it in there. We paid a lot for that. Use it.
All right, so wait, before we move on to Nintendo news, I mean, this is Nintendo news, basically. But, so Korokoro leaks came out, and there were 2 new Pokemon in there. One was kind of weird looking. It's a bear, but it has a pinkish head and some kind of weird white
Pokemon nowadays all look weird. Look at these things.
He's got a brown body, but apparently people on the island have to watch out for him because they give him kind of deadly bear hugs. They're so strong.
It will literally love you to death.
It will literally love you to death. It just wants to hug you, but it doesn't know its own strength.
That's still not the creepiest Pokemon. There's one that's a person dies and they're carrying out a mask of their own self, and you're basically capturing the souls of the dead. And I'm like,
that's
creepy. That's what it is.
The pre-evolution to Cofagrigus, the Yawn Mask. That's what it was. Yawn Mask.
That's still disturbing.
Yeah. No,
there's another one that kills kids, isn't it?
No, there's Drifloon, which carries kids to the underworld.
Yeah, see,
there's it's all ghost Pokemon and psychic type.
Pokemon getting dark.
Drowsy kidnaps kids.
Yeah, Ghastly eats your dreams and causes comas.
Yeah, Haunter pretty much kills you, paralyzes you. He licks you and you're dead.
Yeah, you know what? Pokemon are a little dangerous here. And this is 10-year-olds. It's like, go on.
There's Phantump, which is basically in Legend of Zelda, if kids get lost in the forest Phantump is basically the Pokemon version of that, where it's pretty much Skull Kid, and then yay, Phantump is dead children. Pokemon's great.
I don't remember any of this happiness from the cartoon. All right, so let's jump into the inevitable.
There's the Deadly Bear. No, one more.
Oh, one more.
Now there's a new ghost fairy type Pokemon that's kind of like a Ditto, and
that's what that weird thing is.
Did you see that?
It looks like it's all sad. Nobody wants it, so it made itself look like a Pikachu. That's depressing.
And if you lift it up, you'll get like cursed or something like that. If you try to look under the sheet, yeah.
That's still depressing. I mean, it looks adorable the way it looks, but
yeah. It's like
people are asking like they need to have it
a kindergarten drawn Pikachu face, but they're speculating that it might actually change depending on what Pokemon it goes up against. So it might be kind of, we don't know. That's kind of a lot of effort to put into one Pokemon, but I think
why not?
I think it'd be pretty cool. Just
if they did a model for every Ditto version because it's got the different face. So I mean, why not?
Actually, did they change that?
I think the Dittos actually do the different faces.
Yeah,
because you have that weird little tiny eyes, And it's not really a remodel. It's the same model, but they have to retexture it, so it's at least some kind of work. But it would be funny to see one that copies every one of the Pokemon with like this really crappy costume.
Yeah,
you're just kind of like, oh, that's. I'd want to match it up against
terrifyingly
stuff.
Cute.
Like, what would it look like if you actually matched it up against either itself? Like, would it just be like two crappy bags on top of each other? And then put it up against a Ditto. Because it'd be like, keep changing? Like, it's a Pikachu now. No, this,
So that's your Pokemon Sun and Moon update right there.
Not the end of Pokemon news. Like, holy crap.
Pretty much all this except for at the end.
Yeah.
It's Pokemon news. So,
because we're surrounded by nerds right now.
We are.
They're literally...
I never want to hear anybody make fun of Pokemon again because literally everybody... All those years of ridicule tell me I like Pokemon.
You need to get off your butt and get outside. Now it's like, why are you going outside and playing this Pokemon game? It's like, well, I'm outside. Stop.
It's like, you told me to go outside, so I'm going.
Well, my favorite response has also been people for years have been playing like Candy Crush sitting on their butts. And now this finally gets them outside and they're like, no, this is bad. Like kids are getting hurt and they're tired. I'm like, yeah, welcome to outside.
Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do.
I do a lot of video games and stuff like that, but we get out and do things a lot too. And I'm like, guess what? It gets you out, You
get the boo-boos.
I have walked miles because of Pokemon already. I've done like 36 kilometers.
Nice.
And by the way, America's having to learn the metric system again. With the rest of the world. We're the only country going, I don't get this.
What's kilometers? What's that? KM.
Kilometers? That sounds violent. So, all right. Niantic, the developer, one of the developers for Pokemon Go, has announced that the game will be receiving bi-weekly updates. And the most confusing thing ever, because no one knows if that's twice a week or every 2 weeks. I hate bi-weekly or bi-monthly. Like, so what is it? Like, which one are they doing? They didn't clarify. Just like the rest of the game. They haven't clarified anything.
Yeah, they're obviously telling everybody now because they've made an upwards of $14 million already on this.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
and that's without telling us how to actually play the game.
I know. Yeah, we don't know how half the stuff in there is.
Yeah, it's like, how's this tracking thing work? Yes.
Yes. Yep. Okay.
Just yes.
Yes. So... Like, I had to figure out the incubator thing for myself, but this is actually pretty significant. We didn't think it would be this big of a deal. Like, okay, it's coming out. We're going to be playing it,
It's downloaded and used more than Twitter, Tinder, and a bunch of other stuff. It's already, I think, either at the point of surpassing the amount of World of Warcraft players. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's
a good thing for businesses because they can drop lures.
2 comic book stores in town have it, and they are just going nuts dropping lures on it to get people over there. And they're
what's happening here today at the college right now.
We're not kidding.
20 stops at this college.
2 gyms here, one across at FSU.
Yeah, one across the street, and then
there's people everywhere.
They dropped a bunch of lures because they're having this big event or whatever. There's everybody everywhere, all these nerds and.
There's so many lures set off. I've got a Galaxy S5, and even like it's slowing down, trying to render like all the confetti from every stop. Yeah. I'm like, whoa! Just change the color. Calm down. They need to have a low CPU mode or something.
Something like that. But it's bringing people together. Obviously, getting people outside.
Yeah,
I did not expect it to be this.
We've actually gone to the marina the past 2 nights. Me and my wife went the first night. We're running around everywhere, which I actually found my little brother. I haven't talked to him in 2 years, and just there's Ian.
Hey.
So yeah, that was nice. And then
bringing family together with
right?
Pokemon.
But we were running around doing it. That was funny. She went from like level 1 to level 9 in one night.
Wow.
And I took over the gym. It was funny. And then we went back the next night, took our youngest son with us, and we were running around after midnight. We had a blast. He got home. He was out. He was out before we even got home. But he was having a blast just catching Pokemon, and everyone there was cool. There was people, that would just walk up and like give him tips and talk and laughing and all that. It's surprising how much of an actual social group this has become. And it's kind of funny. They're talking about all these initiatives, which have been good over the past couple of years, trying to get people out of the house and be more active in things. There's been a lot of the different fitness groups. Michelle Obama's been doing a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, like
Pokemon and they're like, now with some Pokemon Go in
that.
48 hours has done more than anyone has in years.
Exactly.
They're probably just like, I'll take it. I don't. You're getting out? Great.
Good. Except for when you're getting out. It's bad. Like you said earlier. Stop going out. Why are you going outside?
Well, there's people that love to complain about it. I mean, you're going to have any of that stuff. But, so Pokemon Go for Niantic is addressing the battery and location issues because that's been kind of an issue for part of it. Niantic Labs acknowledged that Pokemon Go faced a few issues following its release and is assuring fans it's coming along to tweak the game or continuing to do it. One major problem players have faced is excessive battery drain. But, I mean, seriously, you're using a camera, a 3D accelerometer, you're using 3D rendering, and GPS all at the same time. Guess what? Your battery's done. I have to carry around this big battery with me to keep mine going. Wherein some devices face heavy battery use when Pokemon Go is played for a prolonged period of time, Niantic doesn't have a fix just yet, but is actively working on a solution.
Well, typical. I mean, obviously this is going to happen.
Well,
one thing I think they should fix is, like, my phone. I don't know. It just crashes randomly for some reason.
Right now, it's a lot of the stuff because there's server issues. And
I don't know if it's the server issues or if it's just like my phone or if my phone's not well equipped enough, but I'm getting an upgrade.
This building's kind of bad about it. If you're not on the Wi-Fi here, like you don't have the password to get on.
Yeah, there's
you'll
no
lose signal. Yeah, and you can pretty much kiss that goodbye. One person actually did a mock-up going like, hey, why don't we try and do like a low power mode for certain phones where it's more of like Game Boy Advance 2D graphics. Which that people are like, oh, well, that'd be easy to do. Like that's a lot of work to do because you got
to do retexture everything.
Well, it would almost double the size of the file because every frame takes an image. Yeah, but it takes up even more space on your phone. It takes a lot to do sprite-based animation than people realize because you've got to take into account every frame of animation and everything else. But when you do a model, you've got the one model, and then you just animate it, and that takes 100th, the size of a file just for animation than it does for doing frames. So just trust me on this. It takes a lot less for modeling. So, what's next?
Also, Niantic is teasing leaderboards and trading, which trading honestly should have been in here from the start, in my opinion, because it's kind of what they were saying, like, oh yeah, you battle trade. I'm surprised there's not like a battle system between other people.
Oh, that takes time to set up. I give it pretty much instantaneous time that someone's going to try and sell their Pokemon whenever it comes up. Like, hey, I've got this. Give me $50 and you can have it.
I got this like 5,000 CP Gyarados. You want it, and I'll sell it for like 100 or something like that.
And
conquer all the gyms.
There are people dumb enough to do it. Seriously, just walk around the marina. You will get gold. You will get Magikarps for days.
For days.
For days.
For days and days. So, according to Business Insider, Hank says the ability to trade Pokemon is kind of a core element. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Adding that the app was designed with interaction between players in mind, which kind of already done that, but meaning we could see this function sooner rather than later because they've already made upwards of $14 million. So,
well, I mean, imagine right now they've already had such an excessive amount of use that it's locked up. It's having trouble trying to keep up with it as they're expanding the servers. If they had tried adding in trading and stuff in there as well, how mad would people be if it glitched up while they were trying to trade and they lost their Pokemon?
Makes sense to
cause cloning and
fix the server issue before.
And before they do it, they're also trying to go in and they're stopping cheaters as well because people are going in trying to spoof their GPS and different things like that, using programs to do it, and they're banning those people and trying to weed them out before they go in to make this market. The other thing is they've actually opened up where people can suggest or ask for Pokemon stops or gyms at different places. I know like all the GameStops are already sending out messages to the people going like, hey, would you guys like to be a gym or a Pokestop? And seriously, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, the one that's over by my house, I'm like, it's a Starbucks and a GameStop. Come on. Like, literally, you could sit there and get coffee, get games. get Pokemon.
Pokemon games and coffee. What more?
But it's also letting people report, hey, this gym is in a really bad place. There's actually one here by the college that's in the middle of a construction site.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be the baseball fields, but they've torn the entire area down. They're working on it. Like, you literally have to go in the construction site to access the gym. And mind you, they're still fighting over the gym, so people are breaking into a construction site to get to a gym.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I was like, why is there...
Yeah, how did you guys do this? Like, you shouldn't be there. That's dangerous. So they can recommend and change some of those. I mean, that one temporarily, they'll have it done. But, like, the only Pokestop close to my house is this Mormon church that has all these no trespassing signs. So I'm, like, debating. I kind of quietly pull in real quick, get the Pokestop, drive back out. I need those Pokeballs. Sorry. You got to get those. All right.
So now we're not talking about Pokemon Go anymore.
We are still talking about Pokemon.
Put that away, but we're still talking about it. And I could pull it up here and make Jeremy jealous, but I'm not going to do that.
I'm out of Pokeballs.
It'd be nice.
But I'm not playing it. He is.
I mean, I'm not right now. I'm actually...
So
do you want me to? I could.
No.
But...
You hear that phone?
So, Darkrai has been revealed for Pokken Tournament, at least in the arcade version. Which I watched the little reveal trailer earlier, and he looks pretty awesome, and I want him. But we don't know if he's coming over. That has not been confirmed to the console version, if he's going to be a DLC
Which
or
I'm
just
surprised.
an add-on.
I mean, I really thought Pokken Tournament
would have
already had DLC by now.
I know, right?
Because we look at how well it did for Smash. And Pokken Tournament actually sold really well. The funny thing is, it's actually outsold Street Fighter V. Which isn't saying much. Street Fighter V is just straight up broken. But... That's kind of embarrassing from them when you have a game that's on PC and PS4 being outsold by something on Wii U.
Yeah, that is pretty sad.
I mean, yeah. Quit playing that.
No.
Are you really catching a Pokemon right now?
Yes.
What are you going for?
Golbat.
All right, just yeah.
Oops.
All right.
So go ahead. This is your story anyways.
Yeah, keep playing. I'm gonna be here a while.
Yeah.
So the Nintendo Entertainment System, back when I was a kid, launched in 1984, is coming back. Kinda. Yeah. They're actually, Nintendo surprisingly announced today, which I really wish they would go back to having Nintendo Directs, because I thought this was fake at first. Really, I mean, they need to just have Directs. They could have had a whole Direct about this and got people more excited. But they're doing what's called the Nintendo Entertainment, or the NES Classic Mini. That's coming out October 11th. The new Mini NES lets you plug in and play 30 included games, with a whole list of those included, but it comes with an NES controller, it's HDMI output, it's got a cell phone charger that it uses for its power, because I think it's a lot of the same architecture, but shrunk down. It's way more power efficient now. Cool thing is the NES controller plugs in the front with the same port that's on a Wii remote. So you can actually take that one, plug into a Wii remote, and use it on the Wii, use it on the Wii U, or possibly even use a classic controller from one of those two, plug it into the system, and have your second controller. But the system itself is $60 with one controller, and then an extra controller is only $10. So, I mean, for a full NES setup plus 30 games is $70, which is not bad given what they have. I've had to find a lot of these games in the original cartridge format. They are expensive. A couple of them I've found for literally the price of the system. But here's the list. So, we have Balloon Fight, Bubble Bobble, Castlevania 1, Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, Donkey Kong Jr., Double Dragon 2, The Revenge, mostly because Double Dragon 1 looked good, but it was only single player. Dr. Mario, Excite Bike, Final Fantasy. Kind of surprised they actually managed to get Final Fantasy in there.
The original Final Fantasy, that's...
Sadly, no Dragon Warrior. That would have been great. I mean, it's the same company. It's Square Enix. They could have just merged it. Anyways. Galaga, Ghosts and Goblins, Gradius, Ice Climber. There was a game, people. It's not just Smash Brothers.
Yeah, really.
Kid Icarus, Kirby's Adventure. I got my daughter excited for that because she loves playing that. Mario Brothers. That's the original. You're in the pipes, like before it was called Super. Mega Man 2, which sadly is the only Mega Man, but at least they chose 2, which is a really good one.
Really? Is that why didn't they?
Well, I mean, they've got the Mega Man collection you can get for 3DS and some of the other systems. They probably didn't want to push it too much. Metroid, Ninja Gaiden, Pac-Man, Punch-Out featuring Mr. Dream, Star Tropic Super C, Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3, Tecmo Bowl, and then finally The Legend of Zelda and Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. So that's not bad. I mean, we're talking about it's a little system, maybe, about yay big. It's kind of small. like a mini PC. Looks like an original NES. It doesn't support cartridges. There's no media that you plug into it. It's all internal storage. People are already complaining, going, "Oh, well, you could just use an emulator." Or, "Oh, you could."
Is it like
It's a plug and play.
Yeah, plug and play. That's what I was.
Which, I mean, they have done versions of it. I think Sega did one you could plug cartridges into, but it was a little bit different. But with the NES, they just decided instead of dealing with it or messing with the lockout chips and everything, they just made it's just its own little thing. And it's not meant to replace, the Wii U console, the virtual console and stuff like that. You can still do that just fine. And you can buy the controller by itself and use that if you want to. But I'm going to get one because it's a fun little thing to have there. It's 30 really good games, like classic NES titles. With the HDMI, you can play them on all the HD TVs without modifying anything. And for, $70 total, you can do multiplayer and all kinds of stuff. There's at least 5 or 6 games in here with hours of gameplay each, too.
Like Legend of Link, you mean?
Legend of Zelda, both Zeldas, Final Fantasy. Kirby was kind of short. Kid Icarus will kill you. Straight up murder you.
I tried playing the original Kid Icarus when Uprising came out.
It's got ghosts and goblins.
And
Ghosts and goblins will destroy you. Not as bad as super ghosts and goblins.
Ugh.
Yeah. All right, so that comes out in November. Buy one. I'm getting one. It'll be here.
Buy one.
Yeah, I'll have a little monitor hooked up to it. All right.
So, Jeremy, what's our nerd vocab for today?
Nerd vocab is burn notice. A burn notice is an official statement issued by an intelligence agency to other agencies. It states that an asset or intelligence source is unreliable for one or more reasons, often fabrication.
Yeah, the only reason was I looked this up because I didn't know what it was. I'm like, what is burn notice? Because we were talking about...
I've watched the show. It's good.
You know what?
The whole opening explains what burn notice is. Just watch one episode, you're told.
Excuse me.
It's a good show. It's got Bruce Campbell. Everything with Bruce Campbell is good. Even Bubba Hotep. That was such a weird movie where he's basically, he either thinks or he is Elvis in an old retirement home that showed how he faked his death for the other guy to take his place. And he's fighting a mummy.
Fun.
I'm not kidding. That movie is hilarious. You should watch it. It's called Bubba Hotep.
Bubba Hotep.
Just take my word for this, okay? All right. What's next?
Next is some Overwatch news. Did we have this last week?
No.
Well, I think we might have talked about what they're teasing.
They were hinting at it, and it's kind of interesting what they did.
So here's what's happened within the last week since last time. Secret codes in Overwatch trailer and the new trailer have hinted at a new character, Sombra. So they've had a new hero announced, and that's Anna?
Yeah, we'll get to that one. Anna Amari. Or Anna Amari.
She's next.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get to her. And then there's also there's been secret one-frame codes that have just kind of popped up on the screen, and they all lead to hint at Sombra, and Sombra is Spanish for shadow.
Mm-hmm.
We thought Sombra was going to be revealed for this character, but it's Anna instead.
Yeah.
Anna, I think it's Anna. But
it's more than likely Anna Amari, I think is how they pronounce.
Probably.
Anyways.
So we don't know much about Sombra yet. We don't know what kind of role that they will play.
It makes sense because given the new character they made, it sounds like it could be kind of a balance to it. Like this is the other antithesis to it. Big word. Or antithesis is the actual word for it.
Yeah.
The other side of that one, kind of going with it, because the character their first post-launch hero was officially revealed was Anna Amari, founding member of Overwatch and Pharah's mother. As a support sniper who uses a biotic rifle to both heal teammates and deal ongoing damage to enemies from a long distance.
Now,
which is tricky because sniping is already tricky enough.
Yeah.
Now you're just like, I'm going to shoot you and heal you.
Well, sniping is already tricky, and that if you're trying to be on the offense and you're like, all your teammates are getting in front of you, you're just going to be healing them instead of trying to...
Well, that's kind of a lot of what it is, though. But now that keeps a healer at a distance. They can stay back and try and get a clear shot. Now you're trying to find those vantage points where they could get healed and then go from there.
The only problem is, I saw some gameplay of her. She doesn't have... So the trailer shows her sitting up on like a high point.
Yeah.
Right, where Widowmaker or Pharah would usually go. She can't do that. She doesn't have a wall climb or any kind of grappling hook or anything. So I'm wondering
there's probably ways around it or different things you can do with it.
Maybe.
Because if she's a sniper, she's got to be able to access it somehow.
Yeah. But I think it's an all right. I think it's a cool idea. I don't know.
It's another character. The game's still fun.
Yeah.
I mean, at worst, they could make a character that's horrible. And you're like, oh, that's terrible. I saw this whole other group I love playing with, so I'm good. You know.
I'll probably try her out, but
I'm gonna try.
I'm not gonna say I'm like the best at sniping, but I think it's pretty cool. She has a sleeping dart, so and yeah, she literally McCree was like, it's high noon, and she's like, woof.
I still love the fact the actual voice actor that does that. Well, he does that in the middle of the game to mess with people. He'll be on voice chat and be like, "It's high noon." And just everyone scatters. He's like, "Ha ha ha!" And he just runs over.
It's high.
Surprised he hasn't gotten banned for that. Like, but it's my voice.
It's my character. And she also has something that blocks healing for other characters. I know in the trailer with Roadhog.
Oh, that's interesting.
She threw it.
You and your Pokemon Go.
It's not Pokemon Go. I don't have it on.
That's why your phone's here, though.
It's she threw it at a Roadhog, and the Roadhog was trying to heal,
And
but
wouldn't let him.
Yeah, it wouldn't let him.
That's an interesting way of doing it. Kind
And
of
then Tracer
preventing the heal.
finished him off with the
Right.
Pulse Bomb, which I don't know if that's the only thing it can do. I think it might do something. It might damage a little bit.
That's still big, though. If you've got someone weakened and you want to try and keep them from healing themselves,
like a
back up.
tank, like Diva or Reinhardt. Just tanks, pretty much. It's good against tanks. We'll just leave it at that. Or if
what if that could affect Bastion? I mean, he can self-heal. If that would stop his self-repair.
Yeah, it definitely would.
Which would make sense. If it stops medical healing and it's a robot, you're kind of like, how does it? Just don't think about it. It's a game logic. Just a game logic.
No,
let it go.
It's good. It's fine.
Yeah, no.
It's fine.
Physics.
And her ultimate allows you to kind of shoot like a power-up dart at one teammate, say like a Reinhardt, and he can just go and swing his hammer and he does bonus damage basically, so kind of like supercharged, which in the trailer just showed him wrecking everybody with one swing. Just bam, you're dead. Bam, you're dead.
Because he's not overpowered. All right, so let's move on. Caleb, do you know the one thing that can actually stop Batman?
Horrible PC releases.
No, he's still released for that. No, apparently it's Unreal Engine 4.
Oh.
The Batman Return to Arkham game has been delayed now from releasing really soon all the way to November.
Sweet.
Because it was already it's already a weird HD collection. I hate saying that because they're already HD, but it's only going to have 2 out of the 4 Batman
but
games.
But it's the HHD. It's the double H. It's got better stuff.
It's a cash hole.
It's virtual reality.
Yeah, come buy it again. Not even the virtual reality. I didn't include that. But it's only 2 out of the 4 Batman Arkham games. You get the first 2. You miss out on the other 2. But they're running into a lot more issues than they expected going from Unreal Engine 3, where the games ran beautifully on the actual consoles, the way they're designed, the physics about it and everything. They tried to just move it over quickly to Unreal Engine 4, which has a whole new physics engine, changes everything, and they're like, yeah, we really, really screwed up the last time releasing Arkham Knight, so let's try not to do that again, and had to delay it. So
try not to send it off to a third-party developer who's going to mess it up. I mean, I know it happens a lot, but someone who's
I'm still playing Terraria right now, and I think like every version I played has been made by different developers. They did a good job. I'll give them that. So, yeah, I mean, I'm hesitant to see. It's supposed to come with all the DLC. It better come with all the DLC, actually.
Usually those things do, but that's more of the Game of the Year edition kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, did you see the Killer Instinct thing?
$40 for everything.
Kind of
and that better be everything. Like, literally, it should come with everything. No more of this nickel and diming crap.
I'm surprised that
Give me the game.
They didn't do the Killer Instinct for the PC, which I really would have got it for PC, because right now
I've had more fun playing Killer Instinct on the Rare Replay. I go back and I'm like, oh, look, everything's here. I can play it. And it only cost me $30 with 29 more good games, Seriously, the Rare Replay is awesome. Play it. That's the one good thing that Rare's done with Microsoft.
If it was on PC, I could.
It's not.
I know.
All right, so this one's kind of a weird one, and I know Rachel just loves this one because I'm very, very skeptical of this game. Hello Games is already working on No Man's Sky's first update, which I'm not really surprised. I'm not surprised by
It just went gold, though. What did they find after?
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised. A lot of games launch with updates nowadays. It's kind of sad, but it happens.
Yeah.
The problem I'm having with No Man's Sky is everything they promised before. I understand companies will overpromise and they can't deliver. Like, we lost all of them. I didn't even get that. I'm sitting right here. What?
Mighty number 9.
Ah, yes. Mighty number 3. It got a horrible score. But No Man's Sky, they promised all this stuff, like almost infinite amount of worlds. It could generate, you could do multiplayer, meet up at different places, and all this huge grand things. But they kept showing the same demo over and over again. We never saw anything new. And then they quietly were like, okay, there's not going to be multiplayer now. So that kind of made it suck. Can you imagine playing Minecraft, where it generates the world, but you can never play with another person? Minecraft and Terraria are hilarious to play because you can play them with people. No Man's Sky just kind of was hesitant for that.
Yeah.
But now the game's gone gold, not once will they sit down and go, okay, we're going to boot up the game and we're just going to make a world and see what happens. They won't do that for some reason. Minecraft did it when it was shown off. Terraria's done it. A lot of other games that procedurally generate their worlds will do it. No Man's Sky won't. They're not going to ruin story or anything because it just generates it and you play it. So why can't you just make one and show us how it happens? Whatever happens, just let it happen. And they won't, and that makes me very hesitant about it. I might pick it up, but it's going to be a little bit. I want to see more about it. It's just really oddly quiet for a developer.
I need to see some gameplay first.
And I've caught crap for that. Like, oh no, they should be fine. It looks fantastic. They promised this. Like, yeah, a lot of people promise all kinds of things.
Thing is about indie devs, they can promise whatever, but that's the thing. They're indie devs. They don't have some kind of AAA giant looming over their heads, making sure that everything's working.
Right. I mean, I really do want the game to be good. It's a beautiful idea for it, and I love the art style, but
it's like early access games, right? They don't have any kind of contract they're signed to finish the game.
Yeah, they could just like,
they can just go away. We ran out of money. Whoopsies! Thank you for buying it. It's start a new
project. The worst about
now.
that is some of the Kickstarters. Well, they get all this money together and then just like, our bad, we're done.
Whoopsies, we overspent.
Or we just decided not to make it and took your money by.
Yeah.
There's no legal requirement. They could do that. They could get millions together and then just not make the game. And there's nothing legally you can do about it. I mean, you're giving money to strangers on the hopes that they give it to you. Guess what? Welcome to investing.
But No Man's Sky, they said that it's gone gold, that they've pretty much finished with it. But
yeah, I love the picture of I'm holding the disc and like all the people behind it, and I was like, good for you guys.
Yeah, you finally finished it. Good job. But like I said, I just want to see some more. Like you said, I want to see the world generation.
One demo of them doing it would change my mind about it completely. Because if I could at least see it doing something of how they're doing it, great. But they tried to do it the first time. It was kind of neat the way they were exploring, but then they kept doing that same demo over and over again. You realized more and more how canned it was. It was generating it because they wanted this world to look like this. They wanted these creatures to show there. I want it to be, they don't know what's going on either. It just happened. And I get that can be hesitant. I mean, when you're generating these worlds, things can break. But, take that chance. Everyone's going to see it anyways.
It's kind of the point. It's not a finished product.
I mean,
it's not done. Yeah. It can break. It's fine. I mean, some people, the demo, I saw it broken. And it's because it's not finished.
I've had Minecraft worlds generate that were completely borked. Like, I didn't have half the supplies I needed. Not because it was badly designed, it's just I got a crappy spawn. And you deal with that and see how it goes. And sometimes that's even funnier. Like, you get a messed up one and see if you can still survive. So, I want to see how this is. Like, I want to spawn somewhere and have, like, the worst creatures around me going, crap! Because that just makes for funny moments. I just wish you could still play it with someone else. That's my thing.
Yeah.
All right, so, tech news.
Technology.
Yep. What we got?
So the FBI has collected 430,000 iris scans in a so-called pilot program. It's so basically they're going around scanning people's
the
eyeballs.
Eyes have it.
The eyes, golly. So as a moderately sized department, policing too many citizens was just over 1,800 sworn officers. The San Bernardino Sheriff's Department doesn't like it. doesn't seem like it would be on the cutting edge of surveillance technology, but they've been starting this program for.
That's kind of a weird one to do it.
Yeah.
It's listing here iris data from at least 200,000 arrestees over the last 2.5 years, according to documents obtained by The Verge. And it makes you wonder, at what point are they giving permission for this, or are they just assuming, oh, you've been arrested for whatever reason they want to pick you up. Like, oh, you're suspicious, we need to run you in. You've done nothing wrong other than the fact they believe suspicion. Can they just hold you there, get your iris scan, and all of a sudden you're in a database whether you like it or not, even without proper criminal intent or justification? Because there has to be due process for this. They can't just assume you're into it. That's why, they've got the DNA criminal database and things like that. The military has a DNA database, but you have to agree to that when you join the military, certain different groups, CIA, FBI, things like that. But I'm not in a DNA database without you're not supposed to be in one without your permission. I haven't been arrested for any kind of major crime. It was a bounce check once. But I was young and stupid. I learned my lesson after I realized it was even there. But they shouldn't be able to just come in and go, well, we need to get your iris scan and have it in there without your permission, because that is personal information.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of weird. I think you would need permission because they're scanning your eyeball unless they get like a sniper scope.
Well,
I don't think that's going to work.
You'd be surprised. But the thing is, with this, as they call it, so-called pilot program, how are they getting or obtaining permission to do this? If someone volunteers for it and they want to have that and there's a purpose behind it, it's your right to do that. If I want to do the thing where I want to check out and see like what my family history is and stuff like that, I do understand the fact I have to take a swab and that's a DNA sample going in. That's going to be out there. You leave DNA everywhere when you're doing stuff. But that would be on my terms with my permission, not them just making the assumption of law, making an arrest or going from that spot and then just taking that data. Like, at what point do they cross that line where we're going to have to get this scan whether you agree to it or not? And I get it for a point if it's a legitimate, they have to go to a hearing or something and have that said. And even that would come down to the judge. But I'm worried they're just going to go in and just start, whatever assumption and do it.
Now, do you feel like, people have tried to do the fingerprint thing before, but we've seen in movies where you can, obviously movies aren't the best place, but you can cover up your fingernails or do something to them.
Well, fingerprints themselves, there's the whole myth of no two fingerprints are the same and things like that. That's actually not true. It's the same myth as with snowflakes. They've actually found snowflakes that are perfectly identical. It's just the way they form, different things like that can cause the ridges and so forth. And they change over time. All my fingerprints are different because I've got scars and different things like that will help in identification, but they're not solid evidence. And a lot of what they do when they're doing analysis, you see on the TV shows, they're comparing my computers. That's not how they actually do it. A lot of it's just eyeballing it. And there's a lot of assumptions to it. And there's even some courts that won't even allow fingerprinting into it because it's not a really good science basis. They can't prove it, working correctly. They don't always have perfect prints and the smudges. And there's too much chance to it. It's not correctly done.
So do you feel like the iris thing is going to work better, or do you think?
I'm curious as to why they're doing it, because a lot of that's going to be identification via camera.
We've got more trying it out, seeing how that works. We can't get anywhere without experimentation.
But I want to know the purpose behind it. I get it, doing iris scans and things like that for locks, protection. They do that a lot on military bases and other places. But why do they need mine? What kind of system are they trying to put into place where they could just scan people's irises while you're out and about?
Just maybe to identify you or something like that, or something.
But it comes up to the point of privacy as to why. I don't just assume the right that they could do this. They have to have a reason. And I'd like to know what the reason is. So, hey, I'm a butt about that. I don't care. I don't agree they should be able to just do what they want.
So, as you were talking about Minecraft earlier,
yeah,
apparently it's also
coincidence.
helping make Project Malmo uses Minecraft to make AI smarter.
Yep, the AI is already pretty good at specific limited tasks. It can be taught to understand or translate speech, identify faces, and generate text. But to make them smarter still, AIs need to be taught how to learn by themselves.
Yeah.
The ambition is to achieve artificial general intelligence, not simply computers with the ability to solve individual problems, which we can do, but like beating, squishy human brains at chess. We've done that for a while.
Yep.
But digital minds that absorb all sorts of information from the world and combine this knowledge creatively, like we do. A robot with artificial intelligence or general intelligence might still beat you at chess, but it's also know how annoyed you'd be afterwards, and it might be able to cheer you up with a Cinnabon. I don't know why you put Cinnabon, but whatever.
So they're basically talking about they're using...
It's adding general personality to intelligence, not just raw data to calculate and do it on a human level, but to understand what it's doing.
Which that's kind of the point where you cross into like, okay, do we have to have robot ethics now? Like in Overwatch, do we have to have robot ethics? And are they?
No, I mean, there's going to be to a point where that has to be, because at some point as we're doing artificial intelligence, at what point does it, if it ever does reach a point of sentience, how do we treat it? We have to actually have a way of interacting with that. Even if it's a very simple AI, if it's self-aware of what it is, we'd have to treat it almost like a child. How do we have to do that? You can't just be like, well, that's great, kill it,
It's like, we did it! No more, kill it.
Well, that's the moral quandary that people, they talk about in science fiction things, but it is becoming more of a reality. It's something we have to face. Just like they work with how dogs, cats, different animals will interact with things and how they actually act. If we make artificial intelligence, they're going to be on these simplified terms at first, but can exponentially grow from that basis. And there's a lot of scientists that just don't want us doing it at all. Yeah, Asimov had some great stories kind of concerned about, the 3 laws and things like that of how they could try and do robotics. And then, I'm trying to remember the physicist in the wheelchair. I just blanked on his name.
Oh, you're right. Hold on. The computer guy,
you know what I'm talking about.
Stephen Hawking?
Yes. He does not want us studying AI at all, because he does believe that if we start dealing with AI, we won't be able to control it. And once it gets out, we are screwed.
It depends on what you program it, how you program it. If you're going to program it to go on a
that's the thing, though.
Rampage and Skynet everything.
Well, that's like, once you get to the point of AI, programming is useless. That's like saying, well, I raised this kid to be good, but he became a mass murderer. I'm pretty sure Hitler's parents didn't intend Hitler to become Hitler. Other than the name.
He didn't pop out saying, I want to kill the Jews.
Right, that was his monstrous choices. And with an AI, you can have people go from the range, or an AI can go from the range of Hitler, wanting to destroy and hate when it has its understandings, or you can have one that's like Mother Teresa that wants to help and do all these things and be benevolent. Or it's just lazy sister and plays games all day. I don't know.
What was that?
I want that AI.
No, what was that one Twitter bot that Microsoft made that went crazy pretty much because
it didn't go crazy. What it was is people were sending it Nazi symbols and things like that, and it was trying to understand them. It didn't know the concept behind it. Like if you take a little kid, and you just show them some of these things without context of what they mean, they may find interest in it or think it's something before they understand what it actually is. Someone may be like, oh, this Pikachu is cute, without knowing it's a Pikachu or knowing it's from Pokemon. They could just comment on what it is without ever knowing any kind of connection to it. And then later on, once they figure it out, they could be like, well, this is great or this is horrible. But they have context. It didn't have it. So I like that Microsoft put it out there, and it shows what would happen, because a lot of the people were affecting it. And with AI, that's going to happen as well. People are going to just bombard it with everything. They're going to want to kind of do that. But to have an actual proper test, it has to deal with that. It's the real world. Yeah. I mean, you don't expect a kid to grow up and never deal with other people.
That's one thing I'm wondering.
Guess what? School sucks.
If programmers are going to be programming in a conscience,
that's
saying
the thing.
Like what's right and what's wrong, or does it have to decide on its own?
For actual AI, though, because if we can program it, we're taught right and wrong, but we decide what we do with it. That's the thing of artificial intelligence. When you're talking about being able to program it, that's not an AI. That can be a very intricate thing, just like a lot of video games can interact in very creative ways that almost seem like it knows what it's doing. Even back in the day on the Dreamcast, or even like the Hey You Pikachu on the N64 had some form of that, but it was still programming. This would have to be able to beat the Turing test, where people could talk to it and not even realize that it is, an artificial intelligence. They think it's a real person they're dealing with that reacts and feels and does this thing. And I find it funny, one of them, I'm trying to remember what it was from, but they're talking about, like, oh, they did the Turing test on this, and all these people, this many percentage realized it was a robot, this many percentage didn't, between like this professor and this other one. And then they revealed afterwards the AI was actually both of them. Like, it was playing both parts. It was from something I was reading, but that's the kind of level it'd have to get to. So,
we shall see. It'll be a very interesting future.
I have a lot of that I can talk about with robots.
Yeah. Yeah, Jeremy, that's like your whole field, right?
Well, artificial intelligence I find very interesting because it's literally man creating life in a way outside of normal carbon-based life. Because this would be a sentient thing. Like, what could you do with it? You wouldn't want to put it in a video game because it may not want to do that. Or, you have to...
I don't want to be in here. Let me out.
Well, it brings up an entire new way of thought for how legally we have to treat things, how we have to determine life forms, how, what can we do with it? We can't just, we can tell a machine, do this, do that, because we program it, but what do you do if it's like, would your robot in your shop have to actually apply and agree to do with, what you want it to do? That would be a whole different thing to come to. So,
well, maybe in the next couple of years we'll see how far that goes.
It's getting there.
Anything else that you want to talk about?
No, pretty much we're gonna go play Pokemon.
last 20 minutes or so, yeah.
So much Pokemon. Let's go until 7. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, till 7? Oh, okay.
I got lures. We'll make a run. All right.
Well, you can find us find the show on YouTube. That's Strangely Entertaining, capital S, capital E. If you can't find that, more than likely you can't because YouTube hates me. Go ahead and just look up Nerd Edification Hour. You can find also my Twitter account, which I don't think I've really done much with in the recent days.
Mostly because my phone's been busy with Pokemon Go.
Yeah, really. That's at Nerd Edification. That's where we post when videos go up. And it's Facebook. Just look up Nerd Edification Hour on Facebook. My Twitch. Every Friday and sometimes between the weekdays and whatnot may stream. That's strangely entertaining. Jeremy, what's your stuff?
You can find me at Zenspath on Twitter. It's also at Zenspath or twitch.tv/Zenspath for some of the streaming we do. The YouTube page is at ZenspathCOM. We also do our own podcast, which we haven't recorded in a little while. We need to get together over at Zenspath.com for the Zenspath podcast. And then this Saturday, I'm actually going to be on the Molehill Mountain podcast with E. Zachary Knight. Saturday night, 8 p.m. Central, we'll be broadcasting that and recording it. Talking about a couple of the political side of gaming topics with going on with that.
Fine.
Yeah. These are the guys that used to do GamePolitics.com before the ECA decided to close the site down because they'd already done their job with it. So they moved on to their new site and started up their new show, and I got an invite today, so I'll be joining those guys for it.
Is that like via Skype, or are they...
I think we do a lot of it in Skype, because he's in, I think, like, Ohio. And then Caleb's, or not Caleb, but...
I'm here.
Yeah. The other guys are Andrew Eisen, he's over in, like, California, and yeah. So, yeah, that's my stuff.
Alrighty then. Well, thank you for watching or listening, and until next week, stay fancy.
Peace.